Hi friends, I'm here to give you my October wrap-up and also what I'm reading in November. But first things first, I wanted to check in to see how you guys are doing. I know I am pretty low, and I've been pretty low for pretty much the whole month of October. Going on vacation at the beginning of October was great. It was definitely a much needed break for me, but sometimes I need a vacation from vacation. So when I got back, it was really hard to get kind of back in the swing of things. That included reading, getting the house set up since we've just moved, and even basic things like making sure my lunch was made the day before. Sometimes going on vacation is a little hard because it gets me out of my rhythm. I'm very much a schedule-oriented person. So when I get off of that schedule, it really throws me off for a good couple of weeks. There's some other things that are happening on top of that as well. There's the global pandemic that we're still going through. Of course, the election and the election drama, as well as my general anxiety disorder, OCD, and depression. So not only was it difficult for me to just function as an adult, but it was definitely difficult for me to continue reading. So I wanted to throw all of that out there to just say that you're not alone, and also that it's okay to not be okay. At my lowest points in October especially, I hated hearing that. I still kind of hate hearing that, and I hate that I said it, but it really is okay to not be okay. And it's also okay to be okay. I know there are some people who are fine and they feel guilty for being fine. And so I'm just here to say it's okay to be a human and it's okay to feel things. And yeah, when I sat down to do this video, I didn't actually think that I was gonna get into this, but I feel like I kind of have to. And I'm not trying to make an excuse for myself. I told myself when I was setting up this YouTube channel that if I didn't read all of the books that I intended to read, that was fine. And so I don't know quite what I'm getting at, but I think that I just need to hear myself say that it's okay that I didn't read all of the books that I was intending to. In fact, I read a lot less than I thought I would, but I think it's going to be okay. I keep saying okay. So I don't really know how to end this soliloquy type deal, but I just wanted to put that out there into the universe and to say that like reading slumps are normal. And even if your favorite book, because that was what was happening to me, my favorite book was not helping me get through my reading slump. It's just this time of year, it's the time of the decade. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and try and transition into my October reads. Okay, so if you guys have been following me on Instagram, you know that I picked up The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V.E. Schwab on my vacation up in Ohio. It took me forever to get into this book. Again, reading slump, nothing to do with the book. It's actually beautiful. It's amazing. And I'm going to have a more in-depth review on it when I get my website up and running. I've been kind of working on it a little bit today, but I did want to say this was a beautiful, beautiful book. I don't know if it lives up quite to the hype that it was getting, but I'm just proud that V. Schwab has made this piece of art. It is really beautiful. The Faustian influence is really interesting in this book. I definitely thought it was a good twist on it. I haven't read much Faustian stuff, but I know kind of the premise, and I definitely liked this one a lot. As usual with a book like this, I generally try and figure out what's going to happen. I don't do it on purpose. My brain starts doing the work and I kind of try and predict the end. The good thing is that I could not predict how this was gonna end. I had an idea, but it wasn't quite how I thought it was gonna end, so I was really happy with that. Another thing I'll say about this book is that I left it at home one day and I really wanted to read it, so I bought the Kindle version just so that I could keep on reading. You're welcome, V.E. Schwab, for the extra cash in your pocket. So now that I'm bringing this copy out because I finished it on my Kindle, I'm just now noticing that there's this little sticker that says there includes a bonus story, Addie Through the Ages, so I might have to go back and read that here in a minute. But yeah, highly recommend. I give this book 4 out of 5 stars. I think if you like any sort of make a deal with the devil storyline, you're gonna like this book. I think if you also like art and if you like using prose as symbolism, there's a lot of deja vu kind of references in this. I think you're gonna love this. So this is the book that I was talking about that could not get me out of my reading slump. I love his dark materials. You guys know this. I have listened to it on audiobook. I have read it on my Kindle. I have read the physical copy. I just could not get myself to sit down and read the book. I kept doom scrolling, especially with the election stuff, and I sometimes, you know, I'm just feeling so down that the only thing that I want to do is come home and sit there on my phone. I know, it's the worst thing that I could do, but sometimes that's all the energy I have to do. So anyway, I finished The Golden Compass, which is the first book out of these 3 books. I don't know if you can tell, but this is The Golden Compass, The Subtle Knife, and The Amber Spyglass. My husband and I listened to The Golden Compass while we were heading up to Ohio and then on our way back, and then I ended up finishing it when we got back. My intention was to finish The Subtle Knife before the HBO Series 2 comes out for The Subtle Knife. I think I'm gonna keep trying to listen to it on audio on my way to work. So that gives you my first book of November. I'm going to read The Subtle Knife. That's the only book out of this that I'm going to read. I think maybe giving myself the entire trilogy to read was a little overwhelming, and so I think I'm gonna take it piece by piece, finish The Subtle Knife, so I can at least watch the TV show knowing that I finished it. And then once I read The Amber Spyglass, I'll read Serpentine, which was that little book that I got. I think I posted about it on Instagram because that takes place after The Amber Spyglass. Also, side note, I don't know if you guys noticed or if I said anything, I can't remember, but I posted a picture of Serpentine now that I'm remembering this, and the Philip Pullman account, I know somebody else runs that account, but oh my God, they noticed my picture and then they asked me if they could repost it. And that made my whole week. I almost cried. Philip Pullman and the His Dark Materials series are fundamental to my being. They are fundamental to my childhood. My dad and I read them together. I know I've said this all before, but I was like, oh my gosh, I am like one person away from one of my favorite authors, one of my idols. So yeah, I thought that was a fun little story. I was very excited about it. Ask my coworkers. Okay, next book for November. I don't know if I'm going to finish this book, but it is something that I have read before. It's something that my therapist recommended to me a few years ago, and I felt like I needed to reread this. It's a very important read for women, also I think for men. It's called Come As You Are, and it's by Emily Nagoski. Holy shit, this book changed my view on everything. It's amazing. If you don't know anything about women's sexuality, read this book. Oh my God, read this book. I'm telling you, it will change your life. It's amazing. I know this came across as a review, but it's what I'm also reading in November too. So there you go. Okay, next, Dune. I've never read this book. I love science fiction. We know this. I love Star Trek. Soon to be a major motion picture, so of course I have to read the book before the movie comes out. Luckily I have until December, but I do intend on finishing this in November. It's thick. She's thick. So there's like an appendix in the back, and you know it's gonna be like a really good book if it has an appendix in the back, because like you need to keep referencing, okay, who's this person, what does this word mean? Yeah, I'm excited about this. It seems like science fiction fantasy. I don't want to call it science fantasy because I think it's fiction-y. I don't know. I'm just excited about it. I think it's gonna be good, and of course everyone says it's good, so I trust them. Last book, Anxious People. You guys have seen it. It's all over Instagram. It's all over TikTok. I'm excited for this. I think it'll be my first physical read of November. I have been in a reading slump. We've said this, we've covered this. I think this is gonna be a good one to get me out of my reading slump. Hopefully, I don't know, I keep saying that and then it doesn't happen. So I'm crossing my fingers that this is actually like really good, that like everyone is saying. Yeah, I'm gonna read this. There you go. So that's a wrap for what I'm going to read in November. Let me know what you're reading. I am really interested to know. I love getting recommendations from people. Obviously, most of the books that I'm reading this month are recommended from Instagram and TikTok and YouTube. So I always think it's good to have these conversations, especially in the comments. So please leave a comment below. Also, if you want to like and subscribe and ring the little bell up in the corner just so that you can get notifications for my YouTube videos, that'd be wonderful. One last thing. I know times are tough right now. They're tough for me, they're tough for you. I'm here. If you ever need anybody to talk to, I'm here for you. I keep thinking back to that very first episode of Star Trek The Next Generation. Bear with me here while I get a little nerdy, but Q kidnaps the entire crew of the Enterprise and he puts humanity on trial. I don't have that speech memorized for what Picard says to argue for humanity, but I do know that at its root, it's that we're all in this together. We are capable of great things if we just work together. And yeah, that's all that I want to say. I love you guys. We're almost there. Until next time, everybody stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy. And again, don't hesitate to reach out if you need anything.